Hi everyone, this is Pablo here once again with young Oliver, who's also asleep again for this video as well. Today's video is basically going to be me showing my PlayStation 5 collection. I've had the PS5 since launch. I was one of the lucky people that got an invite from Sony Direct, and I was able to purchase one off their website. Got a couple games at launch, which I'll show today, and just been collecting for the system ever since. I feel bad I moved my PS4 up to the bedroom, which is not where I do most of my gaming. The PS5 is downstairs in the living room, which is where I spend most of my day when I'm not working or when I'm just trying to relax to kind of game a little. And, let's get started. First, just want to do a couple honorable mentions. These are games that I purchased for PS4, but then was able to get the PS5 upgrade later on. So I played them, once again from start to finish, collecting most of the trophies. Got a platinum trophy on some of them on the PS5 version. So the first one is Cyberpunk 2077. I know this game had like the hiccups at launch and everything, but overall, once you get past that, and if you're able to play it on the modern systems, it is a really, really great game. Great story, really fun gameplay. I know there's some DLC coming next year at some point. That was just revealed at the Game Awards last week. And, I'm excited for that. Looking forward to it. I'll probably end up buying the DLC when it comes out, unless it's made free or whatever. So I'm looking forward to that. The next game is Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played the original Final Fantasy when I was young. It was actually one of the first PS1 games that I purchased. Well, that I got back then. I had no money to purchase my own games. And so I was really looking forward to this. Once this got announced, I was really, really hyped. I know there's a lot of kind of people that kind of have different opinions on this. If you look at it for what it is, and I don't want to spoil things, it is a remake of it, not necessarily a one-for-one remake. Like they remade the entire game. If you look at it from that perspective, it is really fun. It's fun combat, fun gameplay. The nostalgia, obviously, it's gonna hit. I'm a sucker for stuff like that, so there's that. And actually, I did get the additional DLC, which is, I believe, on the PS5 only, and I completed that. Got 100% on all the trophies, platinum, all that stuff. I had a good time. Next game would be Ghost of Tsushima. This was one of the late PS4 one of the games that came out later in the PS4's lifetime. It's still a lot of fun. It's beautiful, gorgeous, really, really fun game. Good combat, great story, really. They came out with multiplayer later on, which is available for free. And now, again, I actually got the Platinum Trophy on PS4 when it first came out, and I got the Platinum Trophy again for PS5 afterwards, which was easy because a lot of them are auto pop and stuff, but I still had to replay the game from start to finish. Did a lot of the multiplayer things, so that was a lot of fun, and overall it's a really great game. Had a great time with all three of those. And again, those are the PS4 games that I have on PS4 cases and discs that I also played on the PS5 version of, because they had a free upgrade or a paid upgrade, I think, for Ghost of Tsushima. So now here is where the PS5 games actually begin. So this is actually one that I'm playing through right now, which is Alan Wake Remastered. I never had a 360, so I never actually got to play this, but I did hear really good things about it. I'm a big fan of horror, big fan of, Resident Evil, Dead Space, that sort of stuff. So I figured, why not? I was playing this actually through Halloween. Me and my wife were playing through it, and there's a glitch on, I believe it's chapter 5, where if a person doesn't follow you all the way, you get to the end of the chapter and it, like, a certain cutscene doesn't trigger. That happened to me. I was really bummed out about it, and I ended up just kind of putting the game down instead of replaying the chapter, which would only take me like a half an hour at the most. But it is what it is. So definitely going back to that one as soon as I'm done playing the current game that I'm playing, which I'll get on, which I'll elaborate more in a few. Next game is Deathloop. Um, so I actually haven't played this. I got this for my wife for our dating anniversary, which is the end of October, I think last year, because it had just come out, I think like a month prior or so. And, she really had a good time with it. Um, she said the story's really good, the gameplay's really good. I've only seen trailers, I've watched her play it here and there, but I don't know much about it. From my understanding, it's a first person shooter, but it's also a roguelike. So, you whenever you die, you start off again from the very beginning. And you kind of go from there. So, I'll probably give it a try at some point. I know she said that the multiplayer wasn't really acting up, but I don't know if that's just like our Wi-Fi. Who knows? Next game is Demon Souls. So I had Demon Souls when it first came out on the PS3. Played it, got the Platinum Trophy. As soon as I heard there was a remake, I was all in. When I first got the PS5, this was one of the games that I purchased with it. Bought it, platinumed it again. I love the Soul series. Bloodborne is one of my top 5 favorite games of all time. Elden Ring is definitely sneaking up there as well. But Demon Souls is where it all started. Very nostalgic about it. Had a great time back in the day. Had a great time this time as well. It was too bad that I got this at launch because not a lot of people had the PS5. So I feel like a lot of my friends that I used to play with definitely missed out on it. And to say that, I mean, like, we couldn't PvP, we couldn't co-op, do the missions and stuff. And I guess it's a little bit selfish on my part, but I decided to just kind of play without them, because I had the game and I had the console. And I mean, again, nothing that I wouldn't necessarily say no to going back to if anybody said like, hey, let's have a match, let's have some PvP or whatever, or help me out in this level. I'm always game. Speaking of which, next is Elden Ring. My wife got me this for my birthday in April this year. Um, it is my game of the year. I had so much fun, and actually during the PlayStation wrap-up thing that they do at the end of the year, this was my most played game. I think I put 107 hours or 110 hours in this from my recollection. Excuse me. Super fun combat. I mean, if you anybody that's played any of the Souls games, if you just kind of combine them all into one, add a killer soundtrack, killer story, the graphics, the gameplay, all that, and make it open world, that's Elden Ring. Phenomenal. Again, got the Platinum Trophy on this as well. I know there's hopefully some DLC coming at some point because I would love to have some more of it, more of an excuse to go back and play it again. This is actually another game that I'm playing through right now, which is God of War Ragnarok. I was a little late on the first God of War train. By that I mean the 2018 reboot, that came out in 2018. I actually bought that game a little before the pandemic started, and I got it for like $19, and I loved it. Played through it. My brother-in-law actually is the one that recommended it to me. I had played some of the earlier God of War games. I played the first two, and I played one of the ones on PSP. I always thought they were really good games, nothing crazy about it, but the 2018 one just kind of took it over the top, and then this one took it even above that. I'm not going to say much about it because it is relatively new, but it is a phenomenal game. And actually, my wife got this to me as a push gift, and if you don't know what it is, then, it's basically a gift that parents get each other whenever they have a new baby. So you can Google more on that if you are interested. Next game would be Horizon Forbidden West. It's a really good game. I'm not going to say it's horrible. I know it gets a lot of flack and some people don't like it. And the storytelling is definitely a downgrade in my opinion compared to the first game. But I still had a good time. I still have the Platinum Trophy for it. I know there's DLC coming for it next year. I'm looking forward to that. I don't love it as much as I loved Horizon Zero Dawn, but Forbidden West is definitely a top-notch game. Some of the combat is, I don't know. I feel like I'm saying a lot of bad things about it for a game that I had a really fun time with it. Everything about it is good. Again, if you just look at it for what it is a good game. If you look at it in comparison to Zero Dawn, I can't say that it's better than Zero Dawn. But again, I had a fun time with it. No complaints. Next game is Life is Strange, True Colors. I got this for my wife for her birthday in June this year. I've never played any of the Life is Strange games. I know she played the first two, and they follow a pair of brothers, I believe. And then this one is like a different story, different protagonist. So I don't really know much about it. I know it's more of a storytelling, like story-driven game. Um, yeah, like kind of like make your own choice type of game. So that's kind of that. I'm not crazy about these type of games, but you know, kind of like the Telltale, or I mean, at least that's kind of what I got out of it. If I'm wrong, by all means, feel free to correct me, and maybe it's something I can give a try at some point. Next game is Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales. This is a really good game. I had a great time with it. Another game that I got at launch, actually. And I had a great time with it. I loved the first Spider-Man. I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man 2, which just got announced that it's coming out in the fall. So definitely looking forward to that. Definitely a top 3 most anticipated game for next year for me, for sure. It's a bit on the short side, but I think people knew that going in, especially at the price point. I believe it was $40 or $50. I mean, I know that seems like a lot of money for a short game, but in comparison to like the $60 or $70 price points that most games are now when they come out, not the worst thing. You know, you can find it on sale now, and I'm pretty sure this is available on PS4 as well. Next game is the Neo Collection. Now, Neo is a franchise a game that I never played when it was out on the PS4. I know a lot of my friends said it was really good. I should check it out, and I just never got around to it. Earlier this year, I had COVID, and I think it was around September, and Sony Direct was having a sale on their physical games, and this was, I believe, about $30. So I said, why not? Picked it up, grabbed it. I've been playing through the first one. I haven't even touched the second one yet, but I've been playing through the first one. I'm, you know, maybe like 12 hours into it or so. It is a lot of fun. It is pretty tough. Once you get the hang of it, though, it's, you know, there's a lot more mechanics to it than just a regular hack and slash RPG, and it is a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to kind of getting back into this. I kind of dropped it once God of War came out, and also Cyberpunk. I was playing Cyberpunk around the same time and ended up dropping this guy, which is a shame because I was really having a good time with it, but you know, backlog issues. Next game is Ratchet and Clank Ripped Apart. I'm a big Ratchet and Clank fan. Been playing all the games since the PS2 days. Well, not all the games, but most of the games. Played the original PS2 trilogy. Played the Future Saga trilogy on the PS3. Played you know, the mainline games essentially. Some of the spin-offs on PSP, although I wasn't crazy about them. But this is definitely a return to form. It's so nice to have a Ratchet and Clank game after what feels like so long. I know there was that PS4 remake that came out that kind of changed some things because it was based on the movie that was based on the game. It was weird. Anyways, this was a really fun game to play. I had a great time with it. Can't complain about it too much. A little bit on the short side. I mean, I know I beat it over like a long weekend, I believe it was. But overall, I had a fun time. I would say if you can find it on sale, definitely pick that up. It's definitely a good time for sure. Next is Resident Evil Village. So we got this, I think, about a month after it came out, maybe March or April of this year, or maybe it was last year. Whenever it came out, time is anybody with a newborn will tell you time is a bit of a mess right now. Anyways, I had a really good time with it. Didn't love it enough to go back and replay it or try to get the platinum trophy or anything. I know there's a few tough trophies in there, like beating the game under like 3 or 5 hours, which I know I'm probably not going to be able to do, or beating the game with a knife. I, I, I mean, kudos to you if you can do it, but just not built for it. Those days are behind me. But either way, it's fun. Um, Not as scary as some of the other Resident Evil games in the past, especially, like Resident Evil 7 was really good. And then the remake for Resident Evil 2, that was also excellent. Not, I would say this is probably a notch below those, but still a solid entry in the series for sure. And next is my game of the year for last year, which is Returnal. This is a third-person roguelike, you know, third-person shooter, action shooter, whatever. I don't even know what kind of genre, but basically you play as this woman, Celine, the one on the cover. She is stranded on an alien planet, or you're led to believe, and you have to survive enemies and stuff. The story is pretty like mind bending. There's free DLC for it, which is incredible. It just adds more to the story, which is really good if you're really into that sort of stuff. Um, Gives a lot of like alien xenomorph type of vibes to it. It is really hard. This is actually one of the games that I also have the platinum trophy for, and it's one of my proudest platinum trophies. Um, it's just so good. I had tons of fun. The DLC is a lot of fun as well, and it adds this mode where you can kind of just climbing in the ranks, leaderboard type style. The game just gets harder and harder the more you go, and I know in the first like 2 weeks or so after the DLC came out, I was ranked like number 90 for a week, and I'm sure that's gone. I'm probably like crazy in the thousands now. I haven't played it in a while, but it's so much fun. It's so good. Definitely give it a try. I think that's probably my favorite PS5 game apart from God of War and Elden Ring right now. And the next and the last one is Stray. So, funny story about this. I put this game on our baby shower registry because I knew that once Oliver was born, I was going to stay home for a few days, to help things out. But obviously, newborns do sleep for a good chunk of the day. I think about like 18, 19, 20 hours a day. So I figured, while he's sleeping, while I'm, running errands or whatever, and I'm done with all my errands, why not play a relatively short game? So, Stray. One of our friends got it for us, and I was able to beat it actually on one of the days after Oliver came home with us. I was trying to put him to sleep, put him down, and I had him in my arms, and I finally got to put him down. The PlayStation controller was just within my reach, and I remember I had put this in earlier in this tray so that it would install, and I played it. I mean, the game's not that long, as most people know. You can more, unless you're distracted or you have any sort of like things happening, you can probably beat it in one sitting. I needed 2 or 3 sittings if I remember correctly, but even the first time, it was just fun to just kind of like run around, do things. I was up I think from like 11 until like 3 in the morning playing this, and I only got about halfway through the game. Well, not because I was trying to speed run it or anything. I was just doing things. I would get like distracted by like a ball here, like a little basketball, and trying to put it in the hoop, or trying to find there's like little side quests and stuff that you can help out little people in the village and whatnot. I don't want to say too much about it, but it is a really fun game. I had a great time with it. And thank you, Oliver, for letting me have an excuse to have somebody else buy it for me, which is never a bad thing. I know it's available on that like PlayStation subscription service, but I'd rather have my games like in discs. I'm just a bit of a collector myself, so that's the reason why. But anyways, that'll do it. If you guys have any suggestions on what to get, I know for next year, again, I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. If that comes out next year, that's definitely a day one purchase. And I know there's a game called Wolong Fallen Dynasty, which I'm also looking forward to. Final Fantasy 16. Although, again, because of bills and stuff and having a newborn, buying games on launch day one might be a thing of the past for me. Might just, game prices drop pretty quickly, so it might just be one of those things where I just end up getting it, later on, like a month or two later, when it's down to like 50, 40, $30. Whatever it is. So it is what it is. Um, Apart from that, yeah, Wolong, Spider-Man 2, Final Fantasy, both Final Fantasy games. Um, I have my eyes on the Callisto protocol right now. So I'm just again waiting for a price drop or a sale before I can purchase that one, and looking forward to the DLC for um, Cyberpunk and Horizon Forbidden West. If you guys have any other suggestions or anything I might have missed, please let me know. Comment, like, subscribe, all that if you found this interesting or if you like the video. And I'll see you guys later. Goodbye.